What's going on, YouTube land? It's your boy Jay the ENTJ, or alternatively El Maestro the ENTJ, which is my performing name, for my music or whatever. So, whichever you prefer, doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter what you call me, just call me something. So, last video I talked about introverted intuition. This video I'm going to talk about tertiary extroverted sensing and extroverted sensing in general, but I have tertiary extroverted sensing, so I'm going to talk about that from the perspective of an ENTJ. Okay, so for those that don't know, extroverted sensing basically is using your five senses, to take in external information and process it so that you can make a decision based on the information that you have, taken in or what have you. So that's pretty much what it is. Now, and for me, okay, before I even fully utilize my extroverted sensing to its full capacity, it has to go through a couple of different steps because, I'm tertiary with it. So, you got to go through extroverted thinking and then introverted intuition before extroverted sensing really does what it's supposed to do for my type. Okay, so the extroverted thinking basically, comes up with some kind of, let's say an idea, or I'll come up with, some kind of a logical statement, for an idea, whatever it is. Then the introverted intuition, will take a look at it, and I can predict some kind of outcome, in the future, you know, um, and then at that point, and also, and at that point, when I predict that outcome, I can determine whether, the situation will be beneficial or detrimental. Somehow or another, I can kind of determine this ahead of time, and then whatever decision I come to, the extroverted sensing will then kick in. Like, if I feel like, the idea is going to be beneficial, the extroverted sensing will kick in, take action, get a thing done, and that's pretty much how it goes. So extroverted sensing, you know, it comes in real handy as far as, just, taking things, you know, um, to where they need to go after, you come up with an idea and thought about, whether it's going to work or not. So that's pretty much how an ENTJ would use that. Now I know I pretty much banged on extroverted sensors a little bit in the past, for being addiction prone and, super impulsive and things of that nature. But, having said that, okay, extroverted sensors, or SPs, as they're affectionately called, they really are great at some skills that, are intriguing to me. Sports, first of all, are dominated by SPs. Okay, dominated by SPs. I've been pretty athletic all my life, and the extroverted sensing that I have has allowed me to be, pretty proficient at sports, but not nearly as naturally dominant as I would like to be. I have to work a little bit harder, just to even approach the level of a natural, dominant or auxiliary SP. Pretty much all of the great, like Hall of Fame caliber type players have been SPs. Probably over 90%. I mean, just to name a couple, more than a couple, but just to name a few, or a handful. Michael Jordan, ISTP. Kobe Bryant's got to be either an ISTP or an ISFP. LeBron James, ESFP. Magic Johnson, ESFP. Charles Barkley's either an ESTP or an ESFP. Josh Hamilton for the Texas Rangers baseball players, ESTP. Very addiction prone, but on the flip side, unbelievable talent. Dwayne Wade, ISFP. So Larry Bird, ISTP. So they're everywhere in sports. They're everywhere in sports. It's unbelievable, and they're just naturally great at those type skills. They have the fine motor skills to really, get the job done and be able to react in the moment. Also, performing artists, they dominate as well, with extroverted sensing. The extroverted sensors really get it done in that area as well. Um, you know, Dancers, um, ESFPs tend to be the best dancers. ESTPs are really good too. The dominant extroverted sensors really good at dancing and using their bodies, in the moment. to be creative. They can improvise well, things of that nature. Um, the best singers to me tend to be ISFPs. And that may or may not be true, but for my money, I'm going to say it is. Two ISFPs that I know of off the top of my head are Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. So enough said on that. You can make your own determination on whether you think that they're great or not. But those are ISFPs in action right there. ISTPs tend to be really good at crafts work. Craftsmen. You know, um, skilled trades, auto mechanics. Anything dealing with the manipulation of some kind of tool. You know, or object. Which I guess is why they're so great at sports too, is because like a ball or whatever, or a bat or a club or whatever it is a tool or object that they're manipulating. They're great at that. They're great at it. So um, yeah, extroverted sensors. They can be frustrating to deal with for me, kind of, but I do admire the skills that they naturally have. Interestingly, as well, I don't know what it is, but extroverted sensors tend to be real easy on the eyes. I don't know what it is with that. But if you look at people that you know of that are SPs, or anybody that even has, I would say, extroverted sensing anywhere in their first four functions, even tertiary and inferior, tend to be pretty decent looking. The more extroverted sensing you have, it seems like the hotter you are, the less you have. Um, you're not necessarily as maybe like hot, but yet still pretty decent, in the physical attribute area for one reason or another. I'm not sure what it is, um, you know, but I'm not mad at it, especially female SPs, especially um, ISFPs and ESFPs. Very nice, very nice, very nice indeed. And it's interesting because the female ESCPs tend to dominate the porn industry. Probably because of their, tough-minded, risk-taking behavior, and attitude. They tend to be a natural fit there. So you find a lot of porn actresses are ESTPs, for whatever that's worth. But yeah, I like having extroverted sensing. I feel like I'm able to really get things done if I have to. I know some people really have a hard time, if they don't really have a lot of it. If it's like far down in their function order, they really have a hard time, taking, an idea, to the next level and kind of putting it in action and making things happen. So I really appreciate having it, as an ENTJ. It really works out pretty well, so I can implement my ideas. So anybody out there, that's has a hard time, implementing their ideas, especially NT. Well, intuitives maybe in general, but I'm an NT, so NTs, if you need somebody to implement your ideas, like say INTPs for example, an ENTJ can help you out with that, no problem, no problem, no problem. So that's extroverted sensing, the way I see it. um, any SPs out there, dominant or auxiliary, or anybody else with extroverted sensing in their first four functions. That includes ENTJs, ENFJs, INTJs, and INFJs. If you want to leave any comments about what you think about your extroverted sensing and how it works for you, I really appreciate it, and we'll see you later.